Hello students and welcome to Saurav's classes. My name is Ashmita and in today's class we are going to solve questions which are based on sentence completion, and these kind of questions are especially for the GRE section. GRE section English portion, which is compulsory for you all, and you all need to have a good knowledge of vocabulary, new words, their meanings. Otherwise, it will be quite difficult for you all to understand these kind of questions. So let's start discussing these kind of questions. Now, what is the direction saying? Each sentence below has one or two blanks. Now we have already solved these kind of questions previously, so you all know that you need to just put the options one by one and check which option suits the best over here, okay? And that will be your correct answer. Each blank indicating that something has been omitted. Obviously, there is a gap, so something is omitted. Beneath the sentence are 5-lettered words or sets of words. Choose the word or sets of words for each blank that best fits the meaning of the sentence as a whole. So you need to pick out the correct meaning of the word and you need to put it in the blanks provided and make a good sentence which will provide a better meaning and I would say the best meaning possible because there are many options and you need to choose from the words which are given. Okay. So let us start with the first sentence. Truculent in defending their individual rights of sovereignty under the Articles of Confederation, the newly formed states dash constantly. Okay, so they are talking about truculent in defending their individual rights. Now you all know what is the meaning of individual rights, like personal rights and all, of sovereignty. Now sovereignty means supreme power or authority, you can say, or you can say supremacy. So supreme power I'm writing. So truculent means kind of defiant or aggressive. So it means aggressive. So aggressive in defending their individual rights of sovereignty or supreme power under the Articles of Confederation. Now Articles of Confederation, now what is Confederation? Confederation is an organization which normally consists of a number of parties or groups which are united in an alliance or league. So basically it's a group, you can say, political group, alright. The newly formed states dash constantly. Now we need to put these options one by one and check which one suits the best in the blank provided. Apologized. Now apologized means to say sorry. We all know that. And if I put apologized, truculent in defending their individual rights of sovereignty under the Articles of Confederation, the newly formed states apologized constantly. It's not making any good sense, so I'm striking it out. Number B, digressed. Now digressed means to turn away or to deviate. Alright, so I'm writing it down as simple meaning, that is to turn away. Or you can say deviate, that is you are moving in one path and then suddenly you are going to the right side. So that's deviation. You were moving in a straight path and you suddenly took a turn. That is deviation, and that is digress. Alright. So if I put digress over here, truculent in defending their individual rights of sovereignty under the Articles of Confederation, the newly formed states digressed constantly. No, it's not making any sense. Conferred. Now conferred means to grant. Alright. Now if I put conferred, truculent in defending their individual rights of sovereignty under the Articles of Confederation, the newly formed states conferred constantly. No, see, it's not making any sense. So number C is also wrong. Number D, acquiesced. Acquiesced, if I put truculent in defending their individual rights of sovereignty under the Articles of Confederation, the newly formed states acquiesced constantly. Acquiesced means permitted constantly, to permit, alright. Permit constantly, it's not making any good sense, so number E is also wrong. sorry, number D is also wrong. So let us move over to the last option, that is number E, squabbled. Now squabbled means to quarrel noisily over a trivial matter. So basically it's quarrel, and quarrel obviously means to argue and all. Okay, so quarreling over a trivial issue, like a very small issue, very slight issue you are quarreling over, and it doesn't even require any kind of shouting or quarreling. On those kind of simple things you are quarreling. That is squabbled. If I put squabbled, like truculent in defending the individual rights of sovereignty under the Articles of Confederation, the newly formed states quarrelled or squabbled constantly. So this is making sense that like under the Articles of Confederation, the newly formed states were simply quarreling again and again with each other. They were constantly quarreling. So number E would be the correct option over here. Moving over to the next question. If the Titanic had hit the iceberg head on, its watertight compartments might have saved it from dash. Okay, so they are talking about the Titanic ship, and you all know the incident of Titanic, and they are saying that if the Titanic had hit the iceberg head on, like towards the head, if it had hit like hit, then its watertight compartments might have saved it from, obviously, from getting damaged, or from getting like like, what should I say, like from sinking and all. So but what happened is it swerved to avoid the iceberg, and in the collision so many compartments were open to the sea. That disaster was dash. So if it had hit on the head, then it might have avoided the collision, or might have saved that head-on hit would have saved the Titanic from getting drowned. But in order to avoid the iceberg, the Titanic moved towards the side, and somehow all the compartments like got collided, and finally it became open to the sea, and thus the disaster was not at all unstoppable. Like, it happened, it was bound to happen, so it happened. Let us put these options one by one and check which one suits the best. Now foundering. Now foundering means to fill with water and sink. So I'm writing it down, fill with water and sink. And what is the meaning of inevitable? Inevitable means something which is bound to happen. You cannot stop it anyhow. Like, you can say bound to happen. Like, you can say what should I say, inescapable. And like, inevitable means inescapable. You can never escape that. It can also mean unavoidable. Okay, you cannot avoid that incident. So fill it with water, or you can say sink, that means drowning. So if I put foundering, that is if the Titanic had hit the iceberg head on, its watertight compartments might have saved it from foundering. That is its watertight compartments. Obviously watertight compartments means it won't allow any kind of water from outside to get inside it. So if the Titanic would have hit the iceberg head on, then its water compartments might have saved it from filling it with water and thus sinking. But in order to avoid the iceberg, it swerved. Swerved means like kind of deviated from its path. Oh, I didn't tell you the meaning of swerved. It means to deviate from its normal path. Swerved to avoid the iceberg, and hence due to collision so many compartments were open to the sea that the disaster was inevitable. I'm putting the first option, inevitable. So this one is obviously going, but we need to check which is the best option, which is suiting this extract. Number 2 is sinking and escaped. If I put sinking, you all know the meaning of sinking. Sinking means to get drowned. Okay, and escaped means like it somehow escaped, like it freed itself. Okay. If I put this one, if the Titanic had hit the iceberg head on, its watertight compartments might have saved it from sinking. But it swerved to avoid the iceberg, and in the collision, so many compartments were open to the sea that the disaster was escaped. See, it's not making any sense. So let us move over to number C. Damage and limited. Saved it from damage, but it swerved. Okay, so many compartments were open to the sea that the disaster was limited. No, it's wrong. It's not going or making any good sense. Buoyancy. Now, buoyancy means the ability to float. Okay, I'm writing it down. The ability to float. Okay, so if I put buoyancy, the watertight compartments might have saved it from buoyancy. Okay, from the ability to float. It's not making any sense. See, if I put buoyancy, it's not making any sense. Okay, but if I let us put unavoidable also and check whether it won't go, but still we should be checking it. So many compartments were open to the sea that the disaster was unavoidable. See, the first one is not going, so second one will obviously not go. We have found one, but let us check the last option also. Collapse and averted. Now, collapse means to break down. We all know collapse means to break down, absolutely breaking down. And averted. Now, averted means to turn away. Okay. Now, if I put a collapse, I might have saved it from collapse, all right. So many compartments were open to the sea that the disaster was averted. No, it was not averted. So, it's wrong. It was inevitable. It was not. It was unavoidable. That's why the Titanic broke, and finally the people died in that. So, number A would be the correct option for number 2. Okay. Number A. Now let us move over to the next question. Number 3. Written in an amiable style, the book provides a comprehensive overview of European wines that should prove inviting to both the virtual and the experienced connoisseur. So they are talking about something written in an amiable style in a book. What is amiable? Amiable means having or displaying a friendly and pleasant manner. So written in a very friendly manner, you can say. There is a book which provides all the details or a comprehensive overview. Now, comprehensive means like in full details, the overview or the information, you can say, of European wines. That should provide inviting to both the virtual, like even if someone reads it virtually, the book, if someone reads virtually, that also, even that kind of reading will also attract that person to buy European wines or to know more and more about these European wines. And also the experienced connoisseur will also get attracted to these European wines. Now, who is a connoisseur? Connoisseur is an expert judge in the matters of taste. Okay, judge in tasting. I am writing it down. Expert in tasting. Okay, so we need to put the correct option after virtual and check which one suits the best. Prodigal. Now, prodigal means wasteful or extravagant. Okay, so if I put wasteful, virtual wasteful, it's just not going. So I'm going to put a cross. Number B, novice. Now, novice means beginner or a learner. Okay, I'm writing it down, beginner. Okay, so if I put novice, written in an amiable style, the book provides a comprehensive overview of European wines that should prove inviting to both the virtual novice, that is the virtual beginner who is actually studying or knowing about the European wines. So if that beginner or the learner, or we can say novice, starts reading this book and get information regarding the European wines, then definitely he or she will also get attracted to these wines. Okay, so this will definitely go. Number B is going, but we need to check whether the other options are better than this or not going in this blanks. We need to check that. Zealot. Now zealot means extremist, or you can say activist, or you can say enthusiast. So if I put a virtual activist or virtual zealot, it's not making any sense, so I'm striking it out. Number D is miser. Miser means someone who doesn't want to spend anything. Like, it can be money, it can be knowledge, it can be anything of sharing and all. So miser is that person who always keeps to himself, like selfish, you can say. Um, Not spending anything, quite always into self, always thinking about himself, not spending or not helping anyone. Okay, so miser will also not go, so I'm striking it out. Number E is glutton. Now glutton means, or glutton means, an excessively greedy eater. You can simply say it's greedy. Glutton means greedy eater. And if I put greedy over here, should prove inviting to both the virtual glutton and the experienced connoisseur. So it's not going over here, so it's wrong. If I put virtual glutton, it's not going. So number B would be the correct option. Let us move over to question number 4. The members of the religious sect ostracized the dash who had abandoned their faith. So they are talking about the members of a religious sect, and those members ostracized means exclude from a society or group. Like, those members actually ostracized themselves from the religious sect, the dash who had abandoned their faith. Like, they have ostracized or thrown out some people who were not binding, or who were not conforming to the faith that the religious sect was practicing, or the members were practicing. So we need to check, we need to put the correct option from the options which are shown below. Coward. Now coward means someone who is what should I say, not having the courage to do anything. You can say timid, not having courage to say or do anything. So this won't go. Ostracize the coward who had, see, coward people never abandons any faith, so this won't go. So number A won't go. Number B, suppliant. Now the members of the religious sect ostracized the suppliant. Suppliant means someone who who applies, the applicant, you can say. Suppliant means applicant. So obviously they won't ostracize the applicant. It's not making any sense. So I'm striking it out. Number C, litigant. Now litigant means involved in a lawsuit. Like you're involved in a court case. So lawsuit, involved in lawsuit. The members of the religious sect ostracized the litigant. It can go obviously. No, sorry, it won't go, because they are telling who had abandoned their faith. Abandoned means who had left or cheated, who had left their faith, who have left their faith, who have left their beliefs. So obviously a litigant won't do that, so this is wrong. No, it's not going. Number D, recreant. Now recreant means cowardly. Once again it's going with coward, so cowardly. So the members of the religious sect ostracized the recreant who had abandoned their faith. Obviously this will go. Number D will go, because coward people can never become a part of a religious sect, because they always fear that something wrong would happen. So this fear, due to this fear, they are ostracized or thrown away from the religious sect. Okay, This can go. Number E, proselyte. Now proselyte means a person who gets converted. You can say new believer. The members of the religious sect ostracized the, if I put new believer, ostracized the new believer who had abandoned their faith. A person, actually, proselyte means a person who gets converted. He's a new believer, so a new believer will never get ostracized. Okay, so proselyte won't go. The best option that is suiting is number D. Number A will also go, but number D is better. The word is better for covered. Okay, so number D would be the correct option. Let us move over to number 5. I am not attracted by the dash life of the dash. So someone is saying that he or she is not attracted by the dash life. We don't know what kind of life of someone. Okay. Always wandering through the countryside, begging for charity. So this person is talking about someone who always keeps on wandering, like keeps on moving or exploring through the countryside, begging, like he or she asks for some food or money or anything. Begging means asking, always asking for charity, like donation. Charity means donation. Okay, so the first option is proud and alms giver. Proud, we all know, like you're always, I'm not attracted by the proud life of the alms giver. If I put, see, alms giver's life is not that kind of proudy, and also this is not making any sense. Number B, noble and philanthropist. Noble means a person who has like good heart, like kind hearted and all, you can say. So noble, if I put noble, I am not attracted by the noble life, okay, of a philanthropist. A philanthropist is a person who seeks to promote the welfare of others, like he always thinks of the welfare or something good of others, like he always does or thinks for the welfare of the people. That is philanthropist. If I put like philanthropist over here, I am not attracted by the noble life of the philanthropist. Okay, always wandering. Philanthropists never keep on wandering. Okay, so this is also not going. Number B is also wrong. Number C, affluent and mendicant. Now affluent means wealthy or rich, you can say. I'm writing it down, rich. And mendicant means a beggar. Mendicant means beggar. So if I put affluent, that is, I'm not attracted by the affluent life, that is a rich life of the beggar. See, a beggar cannot have a rich life, so that's wrong. Number D, natural and philosopher. If I put, I'm not attracted by the natural life of the philosopher, always wandering through the countryside. A philosopher never wanders. He is a thinker, he always thinks, and he's a theorist. So he never wanders. Alright, so this will also not go. Philosopher is a thinker. What about the last one? Peripatetic and vagabond. Now peripatetic means nomadic, and vagabond also means wanderer or nomadic. So definitely this option will go. If I put, I am not attracted by the peripatetic. Peripatetic means nomadic, like nomads move from one place to another, they never settle, their life is always about roaming, so they always keep on roaming like vagabonds or wanderers, and hence number E, if I put these two options, it is correct. So number E is the correct option or correct answer, I would say, for number 5. So that was the entire discussion for today's class. We are going to meet once again with more such discussions in our other classes.